Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new Huda Beauty Mini Nude Huda Obsessions in rich tone, medium tone, and light tone. But before that, if you're new to my channel, consider subscribing. This month I'm giving away the ABH Norvina Volume 3. So as long as you're subscribed and you've left me a way to contact you, you're automatically entered each month for the giveaway at the end of the month. Alright, so moving on to the new Huda Beauty Mini Nude Obsessions. They retail for $27. They are this time inspired by skin tones, and it includes each palette includes 9 shades with different finishes. And now I have 2 major issues with these palettes, but I will tell you those issues along the video as we move along. Now it seems with these pans you would get different intensities of the same color, but that's not the case. You're getting different colors. You're getting a lilac shade and you're getting your dark shade. And ever since she released these Mini Obsessions palettes a couple years ago, I've noticed that the formula is usually not that great. I noticed this when I purchased her Mini Obsessions in the electric, and I noticed how low the quality was compared to the bigger sized palettes that she'd produced. The electric one was probably my least favorite. It was a little bit patchy for some colors. Some colors was okay. And so I see that the texture of the bigger pans is usually better quality and a lot more easy to work with than her minis. My all-time favorite pan of hers was the Huda Beauty new Nude palette, which included a cut crease color that was cream based. However, in these Mini Obsessions palettes, you don't get that cut crease cream pan, and instead everything is either shimmer or matte color. And so that's one difference. Another difference is that, like I said, the pans themselves are not in different intensities of each other. You have like a lilac shade and a light one, and here you see a model wearing the light based one. So here's the medium, and it's not marketed just for people with medium skin tones. In fact, in the promo videos they mention that they want you to be able to use all of the palettes, which I don't have a problem with, but as far as them trying to sell more palettes to you, they will try and get you to buy all 3 shades if possible. Why spend close to $30 when you can spend close to $90 and make them even richer? Now that's the real Nude Rich. Speaking of rich, this is the Nude Rich palette, and it doesn't speak to me as much as the others, but I'm curious. And before I move on to my number 1 issue with these palettes, I wanted to quickly rank my Huda Beauty palettes that I already own. Like I said, the Huda Beauty Obsessions palette, my least favorite Huda palette is probably her first palette that came out and is no longer being sold anymore. This is the first edition of the Rose Gold palette, which they later changed it into the remastered palettes by, adding a mirror to this and switching a couple colors around. Then moving on from least favorite to most favorite, you have the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. When this came out, I was really obsessed with it. I really liked some of that purple shade in there. It was around the same time that Natasha Denona released her Lila, so I remember really enjoying this palette as much as the Lila palette with Natasha Denona. And as you can see, some of the colors were really good, but some of them were inconsistent and they were turning out pretty patchy. Then moving on to more favorite palettes, I really did enjoy the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions. Again, the problem with these little pans is that they just were not consistent, and they just, some of the colors were really, really good, whereas some of the colors took forever to show up. And then moving on to more favorable palettes, I really, really liked her latest minis, which were the neon ones. However, as I explained to you guys in my videos before, as much as I really love the color, the pop of color with these mini neon palettes, my biggest issue is that the FDA did not approve these palettes, and so on the packaging they did say that it's not intended for the eye. Well, you're releasing an eyeshadow palette and you're saying it's not intended for the eye. So That's the issue with her neons. Then moving on to another palette of hers that I did like was the blue sapphire one. Now I really like this a lot more than other blue palettes that came out around the same time. For example, the Tarte Icy Beige palette. And now moving on to my number one most favorite Huda Beauty palette. It's definitely got to be the Huda New Nude palette. Now when this came out, I loved working with it. It was giving me so many different looks, and I got so many compliments on this, and I just really enjoyed how it had so many different textures and different finishes and satin finishes and velvet finishes, and you know, it had that pressed glitter without glitter falling out all over the place. It was definitely, you know, my number one Huda Beauty palette, and I would definitely repurchase this one again. So when you can imagine how excited I was when I heard that that Huda Beauty came out with nude minis, because you know, now they're more travel friendly. So now while I enjoyed the new nude palette, and I thought not only was there nothing wrong with it, I thought it looked pretty good, and it was probably my all-time favorite, and I never, you know, questioned how it would look like on different skin tones, because on the Sephora website, even right now, it looks like they made it the same to look the same on all different skin tones. And now they want to make more money. So listen closely to what Huda has to say about the reason for her mini nude obsession palettes. And
we have released our new nude last year, and while we were doing that, we thought the new nude looks different on the different skin tones.
But does it? Looking at the Sephora website, they all look the same on different skin tones. So either they're lying then or they're not being truthful now. I'm checking it, and it looks like they've pretty much consistently photoshopped it.
We create nudes for each skin tone. So we are really excited about.
Just to be clear, I don't have a problem with brands coming out with new shades for every single skin tone. I just have an issue with when they previously marketed a palette as a one-size-fits-all, and then later they go back on their statement because they decided to make more money, and so now the new product is the better product. I personally like how Rihanna does it, where she has swatches shown on different skin tones, but they don't look like they've been computer generated. So it looks more true to the pans, as opposed to someone who, it's their statement, not mine, is saying that what was previously working on different skin tones is no longer working on different skin tones, and now the new product is going to be the one to solve all those problems. But again, we only have 3 different palettes to work with, unlike for example Fenty Beauty, that's coming out with multiple shades of foundation. So I'm not trying to sound ungrateful. I'm really happy that brands are starting to become more aware of catering to different skin tones, and instead of just making a one-size-fits-all palette, I'm really grateful that they are reaching beyond that. But I just don't like how they would use those photos for the same skin tones and misguide people, but then later use that as a marketing tool for a new palette. I'm really glad that at least, you know, at the very least, they're stepping outside the box, and they're trying to cater to different skin tones. And hopefully, you know, the formula is very similar to the new nude palette that came out. But my feeling is that because of the way in the past these mini palettes were produced to be cost effective, that will not be the case. Also, is it just me, or does the light Nude Obsessions give you Naked 3 vibes? It almost really reminds me of Naked 3 with the colors they came out, and the swatches look very similar except for maybe that lilac color. And the medium nude and the rich nude also kind of are like reminding me of Natasha Denona Sunrise palette vibes, and I just don't know. Now, since I don't do PR on this channel, I'll probably buy all 3 of them just to compare and swatch them for you, so you guys won't have to spend the money to find out if it's good or not. But you know, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. As always, I'm hoping that you're subscribed. If not, make sure to subscribe to be entered into monthly giveaways. This month I'm giving away the Norvina Volume 3. The winner will be contacted at the end of the month, and next month we will have a new winner for a new giveaway at the end of that month. As always, thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.